Hello, welcome to Apocalypse Athlete. In this video, I will be discussing whether or not you are training hard enough. So first off, I will tell you my 2 ways of knowing whether or not I am training hard enough. And then I will go over several other ways that I've heard about that can help you stay on track for training hard enough. So one thing I like to do, and I try to remind myself every set, is how did I feel after that set? Could I have completed 3 or 4 more reps, solid reps? Or was the last rep that I did just complete ass, sloppy? I was very fatigued. If you could do 3 or 4 more really clean reps, you're probably not getting close enough to failure. And that doesn't necessarily mean having your last rep be really sloppy and dangerous, but get close to not being able to do another clean rep. I like to keep the intensity around 80 to 90% when it comes to strength-related activities. Most of my strength lifts, I wouldn't necessarily go to failure just because I don't have a spotter, and going to failure like that every single time isn't the most effective way to getting stronger. With endurance or muscular endurance, it's a little different. You're not using super heavy weights, and usually the exercises you don't necessarily need a spotter anyway. So basically the gist of that, if you could have done more, you probably should have done more, at least in that set. My way of getting around this is the next set, increase the weight or increase the reps. Get as close as you can to failure. The next way that I know whether or not I'm training hard enough is over time, am I progressing? And this doesn't necessarily mean 1 week to the next. This can be 1 month to the next or a year to the next year. If it's been a full year and you haven't seen any progress with certain lifts or exercises, probably need to rethink some things. How I track this is I will at least record my PRs, and that's not just lifting, that's also timed events too, like runs, rucks. I will also record how I feel for certain exercises that don't necessarily have a weight, rep, or time PR available. But for most lifts, if I can see a significant rep increase, weight increase, or a better time on a certain timed event, I'll know that I'm probably progressing. For most exercises, I'll try to see at least progress over the course of 1 to 2 months, whether it's endurance or strength or anything in between. So the gist of my 2 tips, basically, if it doesn't feel hard enough, it's probably not hard enough. You should try to challenge yourself a little bit more the next time. And if there's a lack of progress, there's probably not going to be much more progress. So you need to change some things up. And that doesn't mean changing it completely. Maybe just add more sets, a couple more reps, go a little bit closer to failure. Try different exercise that work the same muscles. Might hit them differently for you. You never know, everybody's different. So There are a few other ways of telling if you are not training hard enough. One of them being that you are not experiencing any kind of soreness ever. Now, I'm not saying that every single workout you need to feel sore right after and you need to be in a lot of pain, but you shouldn't feel like you just sat on a couch for 3 hours and you're just completely normal afterwards. You should feel a little bit of something, especially if you're a beginner. You'll feel that soreness. Another way is your breathing. And this is mostly with exercises where you go above 3 reps. So this is especially with muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance exercises. But if you are breathing heavily, if it is harder to talk normally, so if you're breathing pretty hard, you're probably working pretty hard. If not, though, if things are pretty easy, maybe you're taking a little bit too much rest between your sets. Maybe you're not hitting your exercises hard enough. Another quick tip is basically like before, you should be getting close to failure. A way of telling that is your first rep should not match your last rep in your sets. Your last rep should be noticeably harder to complete. If not, you're probably not going hard enough in your set, not enough weight, not enough reps, either or. Another good way of being able to tell, and I noticed this a lot throughout the Army, especially in basic training when I was first exercising as hard as I do now, is you will sleep really good at night. You shouldn't be waking up too much. You should be having really good sleep. You'll be tired afterwards, and when you go to sleep, your body will want to focus on recovering. So that's pretty much it for this video. I appreciate you guys, all those that keep watching these videos. Thank you. As always, like and subscribe. Leave questions and comments down below. Thank you. Good night.